All right. Good morning. Monday morning, early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon here from Los Angeles, California. I apologize, I'm getting started very late this morning. I just woke up, but it feels good to wake up when you're finished sleeping. I have no complaints. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm ready to start off and have a very productive week. So let's see, who do we have on the line so far? We've got Concha, Mar, Derek Shires. I have not seen that name in a very long time. One on Derek. Lashana, Chevy, Mr. Ron Ross, Mrs. Shauna Ross, Loretta Dilworth, Angela Payne, Lee Dickey, Desi, Desiree. I have not heard that name in a while. How you doing, Desiree? Me and Desiree go way back, high school. Miss Kathy Keene from Hawaii. Rudy, Kathy, I hear you have an important meeting this morning. You got to fill me in later on what role you and Calais want me to play. Darnell, Mafoose, LeBall, good morning. Good morning. Street Sounds Customs, that is Gilbert. What's going on, Gilbert? Emma, good morning. Emma, all the way from Nigeria, so it's evening time for you. Good evening, and congratulations on what you're doing out there for cryptogenics in Nigeria. Now, as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed decision on which direction you want to go in. There's 4 rules I live by to have success, or not just success, but I live by, period, in the crypto space. Rule number 1, education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Where do you want to be? What vehicle are you using to make that happen? Take action and stay focused. You know, people ask me all the time, Brandon, when should I, slow down or stop? I don't have that time frame. It's whenever the job gets done. That's my mentality. How many hours, Brandon, you don't have a job. You don't have a 9-to-5 job. So how many hours do you put in your business a day or a week? I don't know, when the job gets done. I wake up in the morning, I already have planned out what I'm going to be doing that day, and I don't go to sleep until I get it done. Most of the time. That's just how it is. All right, so I did not do a late night crypto talk last night. I was busy wading in the water in the swimming pool and chilling and relaxing. So there's a lot I have to cover this morning. And that image that you see is 2 of my young cousins that I can't believe how big they're getting. And I remember them being babies, and now one of them, he's bending down, but he's actually taller than me, and he's only going to 9th grade. Taller, more than 6 feet already. It's like, good grief. All right, let's go to the first. There's 2 things we're going to cover today, this morning. And what we're doing, we always begin our morning with crypto education. That is one thing I do know. I do not begin my day without crypto education. And then I end my day with crypto education. I spend at least 3 or 4 hours a day on crypto. You want to be a professional in your industry. When you want to be a millionaire, these are the things you got to do. So let's see, we're going to cover the banking industry, and we're going to cover geopolitics. First up, geopolitics. What's going on around the world? Because what happens around the world can affect us here, directly and indirectly. So first up, we're going to talk about Iran. So let's see here. Iran. Over 500 bitcoins belonging to Iranians seized by the U.S. government. Now, this is a first. The U.S. government already has sanctions on Iran. And it's been no secret that Iran, Russia, North Korea, and others, China, have been looking for ways to get around U.S. sanctions by not dealing in U.S. dollars and not worrying about if your bank account is frozen by the government. If you have crypto, then you can still survive. Now the U.S. government is targeting their Bitcoin. Let's see. According to the head of Iran's blockchain association, over 500 Bitcoins belonging to Iranians were confiscated by U.S. government last year. Why are we not just now hearing about this? And the number is still rising. He explains that Iranians are unable to take action through proper channels from within their country due to Iran's legal status of cryptocurrency. So it's the individuals that's getting hurt, the Iranian citizens. Because Iran itself has not officially recognized Bitcoin, even though the government wants to use crypto against the United States. They don't want their citizens to use crypto to have independence from the government. So they haven't been friendly to their citizens using crypto. And if the government, U.S. government, is targeting Iranian citizens, then they have no recourse. Remember, who are they gonna complain to? Their own government's not even recognizing it. I think this is gonna force Iranian government's hand to move quickly. I don't think that's a good thing. So Sepher Mohammadi, the president of Iran's blockchain association, told Abina News outlet last week, last year a remarkable volume of Bitcoins which belonged to some Iranians were confiscated for unspecific reasons by the federal government of the United States, and the process of confiscation is still continuing. He admitted that the exact number of confiscated BTC is not clear, but it is expected to be over 500 Bitcoins, worth approximately 25 billion tomans, which is $5.7 million at the time of publication. Some people believe that this confiscation is because Bitcoin owners were circumventing U.S. sanctions. Recently, you know what this does? Yeah, I always think as a lawyer. If the U.S. government tries to say, oh, well, we don't recognize Bitcoin as a legal currency. All right, then why are you seizing Iranians' Bitcoin? Well, they're bypassing sanctions. And what's the point of the sanctions? To freeze economic bank accounts so that Iranians don't have access to money? So if that's the case, and you're seizing their Bitcoin, then by default you're claiming that Bitcoin is money. Right? Well, that's not what we're saying. Well, that's what you're doing. If you're freezing the Bitcoin because you say they're getting around U.S. sanctions, then you're saying they're using Bitcoin as money, and you're freezing that. So just this act alone, the government is, when people say, is Bitcoin real? Is it real money? Why is the U.S. government seizing it from Iranian citizens? They just proved it's real. If you're in a court of law, I'd be bringing this up all day long. Or I'd be like, why is Nevada and Georgia allowing the citizens to pay their taxes with Bitcoin? If you're allowing them to pay taxes with Bitcoin, then you're saying that you recognize Bitcoin as legal tender, as money. Mohadi further explained to Ibina the challenges Iranian citizens face to recover their cryptocurrencies. The owners of confiscated Bitcoins are unable to take legal action against the U.S. inside Iran as cryptocurrencies are banned in the country. Even if they weren't banned, how are you going to take legal action against the United States? Remember, crypto isn't owned by anybody. There's no CEO. There's no bank. It's decentralized. The association is looking to take international legal action, but they have not yet found a legal expert in anti-money law who will handle the case, because there isn't one that exists in the Bitcoin space yet. This industry is so brand new. We're on the internet in 1992. Huge opportunity for lawyers and money experts. Remember what articles I read the other day that said that they're adding 5,000 blockchain developers a month is coming to the space. And then the guy said, I don't know one blockchain developer that has not become a millionaire. I mean, there is absolutely no excuse for anybody in the crypto space not to be making money. You just got to know what to do and where to go. And that's why crypto education is important. In April, the Central Bank of Iran banned banks and financial institutions in the country from dealing with cryptocurrencies. The CBI claimed that all cryptocurrencies have the capacity to be turned into a means for money laundering and financing terrorism, and in general can be turned into a means for transferring criminals money. Nonetheless, poor Ibrahimi told Bina in May that even though few people in Iran are cryptocurrency users, according to his data, more than $2.5 billion has been sent out of the country for buying digital currencies. Thank you, Mafus. Yeah, that was on Saturday, that article. All right. Next international geopolitical news, we want to go to Costa Rica. Remember what Supreme Court Judge Stephen Breyer said. Perhaps one day, people's salaries or employees will be paid in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer said that. Remember what the head of the CFTC said, that cryptocurrencies will invade every single aspect of every economy on the planet, and that some economies will only be able to survive because of them. Well, look at what's going on in Costa Rica. Costa Rican workers can be legally paid in cryptocurrency. What? Legally? Employees in Costa Rica can receive part of their salary in cryptocurrency, and that wouldn't be against the law. See, one day, those of you that's not taking this serious, and you're being a bystander, you're watching it like you're watching freaking Shark Week, but you don't want to get into the shark cage. You guys see that last night? I love Shark Week. I've been watching it since it started. 30 years now. I remember I was a kid the first time I saw Shark Week, and Shaq was on the show last night. That was freaking hilarious. I got to give him credit though. He actually walked with the shark. He actually got in the cage, and a shark got in the cage with him. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But he did it. You know, I give him props for that. I saw Ronda Rousey, too, out there feeding freaking mako sharks and stuff. So, anyways, you got to get off the sideline and get in the game. Not just be a witness to this. So here's what it also says. Employees in Costa Rica can receive part of their salary in cryptocurrency. Certain provisions in the national legislation allow companies to pay their workers not only with fiat money, but also with goods, and some legal experts believe cryptos can fit in this category. Besides, Costa Rican laws provide for the use of commonly accepted assets as means of payment. Workers in Costa Rica may soon start receiving a portion of their salary in cryptocurrency. Local media that reported, as far as Costa Rican law is concerned, there is no reason this cannot happen. The country's legislation allows employers to partly remunerate their staff with goods that are not currency, as long as the legal minimum wage is paid in money. It also develops the concept of quasi-money, or any asset that can be used as a means of payment, and has been widely accepted as such in the society. This is a trend that could take hold in the country, said Rolando Perlaza, who is working at Nassar Abogados, a prominent law firm in Central America. This type of payment would in no way replace traditional or liquid cash. It would rather become an incentive for the workers, who could decide if they accept these currencies as payment for their services. The expert elaborated, quoted by the Costa Rican News. He also emphasized that in any case, employees are protected by Article 166 of the country's labor code. The publication notes that in October last year, the Central Bank of Costa Rica issued a directive which established that cryptocurrencies are outside the national banking system. The document also indicated that carrying out any type of commercial transactions with digital coins is a limited option. Along with that, the central bank warned that those who use cryptocurrencies assume the associated financial risks. So despite CBCR's assessment, the local crypto sector has been developing steadily in recent years, with a growing number of merchants and other businesses, including many hotels and companies from the tourism industry, accepting cryptocurrencies as a legitimate payment method. Costa Rica, which has remained relatively open towards business ventures in the crypto space, has also seen a number of Bitcoin ATMs popping up in the capital, San Jose, and elsewhere. Oh, what I tell you. Those of you, again, that you don't want to engage, you're going to start driving around the city and you're going to see Bitcoin ATM machines all over the place. Just like LaShayna saw in the gas station. Bitcoin ATMs. And I know people, just imagine, you guys are informed. But imagine the majority of the people out there waking up one day, drive down to the gas station or 7-Eleven. Or right now, I think the lotto's like at 400 million, so everybody's going in to get their lotto tickets. And there is a Bitcoin ATM machine, and people kind of look at it and glance in and like, hey, well, what's that? Bitcoin, I heard of that. Bitcoin ATM? I mean, what can I do with that? But you're going to start seeing these things popping up everywhere. All right, last international article. Russia. How can we talk about geopolitics and leave Russia out? So here's what's going on in Russia. Russia swiftly warming up to blockchain and cryptocurrencies. While the distributed ledger technology, the blockchain, is still very much in its nascent stages globally, the undeniable fact remains that some nations have quickly embraced the groundbreaking technology with open arms, formulating practical use cases for the blockchain, which states like Russia still sitting on the fence. No, they're not. They are not sitting on the fence. Vladimir Putin has been very clear on what he wants to happen. Did you see that, Christy? They're all over San Diego, huh? So Vladimir Putin's very clear on where Russia's going. So, however, it appears the former Soviet Union is gearing up to join the blockchain ban. Gearing up to join? Who wrote this article? They're leading the way. Agu Emmanuel. He's been 50-50 on his stuff. A little bit behind, but he's got this wrong. Russia's not gearing up to join. Russia is ready to lead. Let me quote Vladimir Putin. He said the Stone Age didn't end due to the lack of stones. The Stone Age ended due to the introduction of better technology. And the new world superpower will be the ones who lead and take advantage of this space, crypto space. And those who do not will be under the thumb of those who do. Vladimir Putin said that. So you think he's sitting on the sidelines on this? As I state all the time, Vladimir Putin is playing a game of chess. Donald Trump is playing a game of Hungry Hungry Hippo. Not even in the same league. So let me finish the article. However, it appears the former Soviet Union is gearing up to join the blockchain bandwagon. As a co-founder and chief legal officer of Crypto PR Lab, Maria Prusakova revealed in an interview on July 18th that new blockchain-linked businesses are now springing up in the region. Springing up. Of a truth, blockchain technology is a solid foundation on which digital currencies are built upon. It's also true that if not for the creation of the world's flagship cryptocurrency by Satoshi Nakamoto and the surge in the price of Bitcoin in 2017, DLT may not be as famous as it is today. You know, the first time I heard about Russian involvement in crypto, But when I was first started doing my own education and I was reading articles and stuff, I was entering the space mining. It was my first failure. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what I was doing. But anyways, I read that Russia has a part of their country, a huge part of their country, that is designated just to mine Ethereum. That ultimately they want to be doing at least 30% of all the world's Ethereum mining. That was the first time I heard of Russia getting involved in crypto. And that was like July 2017 when I read about that. And then it's only gone uphill from there about what Russia is doing. So let's see here. Of a truth, blockchain technology is the solid foundation on which digital currencies are built upon. It's also true that if not for the creation of the world's flagship cryptocurrency by Satoshi Nakamoto and the surge in the price of Bitcoin in 2017, DLT may not be as famous as it is today. Yes, true, but it would eventually. It would just take more time. Just as in various parts of the globe, Prusakova stated that blockchain tech has the upper hand in Russia as compared to cryptos, but the situation may change shortly as officials have suggested that legalization is in the cards. Now that part in Russia is still under debate. Russia has 2 cities, that's pilot cities, that they're using to see how can citizens survive on just crypto. They're already testing this out. However, remember, Russia is communist. So their ultimate goal is not that they want to accept crypto and Bitcoin. Is to create their own, the ruble coin. And to have a coin created that their own Eurasia bloc between India, China, North Korea, Iran, Afghanistan, all the stand countries can do their own international trade with each other. Oil, gas, natural energy, all the economic trade without having to use the US dollar. And it's a digital coin that they all can agree upon. But it's not, we're not talking Bitcoin, we're not talking Ethereum or anything. Something that they create and can control. That's what their ultimate goal they're working on. So that they don't have to use a US dollar. And when that happens, this is why I say you want to pay attention to geopolitics. What's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to the role United States play if the rest of the world doesn't care about the US dollar anymore? That's going to impact us. Let's see here. In February 2018, we reported that authorities in the city of Moscow were looking to integrate blockchain technology into existing systems, fostering more transparency and public confidence. Similarly, in what seemed like a forward-thinking maneuver, the Russian Ministry of Defense announced on June 29, 2018, that it's creating a research lab called ERA that would look into the possibility of using DLT to identify cyber threats capable of tampering with the nation's critical information infrastructure. Wow! Hold up one second. Russia, instead of looking to criminalize the blockchain and DLT, they're going to use this technology to help identify criminals and cyber threats, and that's capable of tampering with the nation's critical information structure. Last I heard, the United States is under attack right now by cyber criminals and the Russians infiltrating and messing with our election campaign. This ain't a political thing. This is a fact. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Both sides and all of our national intelligence agencies have said so. So you would think, wow, if technology exists to prevent us from being under attack, if the Russians are using the technology to prevent attack, shouldn't we do the same thing? Instead of looking at, like, we just had a House congressional hearing last week about the future of money and the technology, blockchain technology. And you know what they came up with? Their conclusion well, we gotta create some government agencies to make sure that there's no fraud going on with the cryptos. We gotta stop money laundering and fraud. You fools, use the technology to defend our nation. They're looking at it completely ass backwards. Russia's got it right. You know why Russia got it right? Because they figured out, wow, if we can infiltrate other countries, then they can also infiltrate us. So let's go ahead and build a force field around us. Let's go ahead and put this blockchain stuff on. Like I said, they're playing a game of chess. We don't even know what game is being played. It says, we see a tendency among major Russian instructional players to promote legislative changes that would be relevant. This process is, of course, time-consuming. However, we expect developments in this area shortly. On June 11, 2018, Russian President Vladimir Putin said in a live question and answer session with citizens that the state had no intentions to launch a central bank-backed cryptocurrency, but his government will, however, continue to keep a close watch on digital assets in order not to be left behind in technological innovation. He told a half-truth there. That part is true, where he said he does not want Russia to be left behind. He's trying to lead the way. He wants the Soviet Union back. What he didn't say, which is a lie, that they have no intentions to launch a central bank cryptocurrency. Yes, they do. He already ordered it. It's public knowledge. It's called the ruble coin. He did it last year. So yeah, he lied and told the truth at the same time. Interestingly, on June 20th, 2018, we reported that two heavyweights, Sberbank and Alpha Bank, were making concrete plans to start offering clients cryptocurrency-linked investments, a positive move that could massively boost Bitcoin and altcoin adoption in the no-nonsense country. Wow, so Russia, you see how their government is taking on this whole debate, how they're handling this, and you see how the United States government is. Which one do you think has an advantage? Now, United States isn't stupid either. I do not believe for a second that we don't know what the heck is going on. I think that the message publicly is being muddled because our officials aren't publicly talking about it the way we want. But I think behind the scenes, we are doing things and preparing for this. We know exactly what Russia is doing and why. We're not that stupid. But the first goal is always to maintain the status quo, and the status quo has us on top. Backup plan B, is to, if things are going to change, what is the Ronald Reagan way? He says, first thing you do is you criminalize it. The second thing you do is you ban it. And if all else fails, the third thing you do is you regulate it, co-opt it, tax it to death, and then take it over. That's the United States way. So I don't think we're just sitting on our hands, and I have proof of this, which leads into our second half of our learning this morning. We're going to talk about the banks. The biggest critics of crypto in the United States and the world is the banking industry because they see it as a threat. So anytime you see a banker come on TV or make a comment, 9 times out of 10, it's negative. But on the other hand, they're preparing for this. So let's cover some proof here. Let's first talk about J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan, whose CEO, Jamie Dimon, is famous for blasting Bitcoin. And then 2 days later, he's a hypocrite, bought up the world's largest assets of Bitcoin. He's already been found guilty of market manipulation. He's already had to pay billions in fines. But what is he doing as a bank? JP Morgan files patent to use blockchain to issue ICO tokens. Talk about a hypocrite. The banks don't want You using this stuff, yet they're preparing for it at the same time. Increasing regulatory oversight in the shifting landscape of cryptocurrencies has introduced a new set of security token markets enabling institutions to join the sector. On July 19, 2018, JP Morgan filed a patent to issue asset-backed tokens on a distributed ledger. Didn't you, Jamie, just say less than a year ago you're going to fire any employee of your company doing anything in cryptos? Less than a year later, they're filing patents on this. It was filed in January. That's 3 months after he said what he said. JP Morgan's patent application to issue virtual receipts comprised of tokens on a distributed ledger was published this Thursday, July 19th. A security token is created when an asset owner entrusts a deposited asset to a qualified custodian who will then process and authorize a virtual receipt comprised of a token and record the transaction on a distributed ledger. Security tokens require approval and regulation by the US SEC, limiting the exchanges where they may be available for trading. In the patent, it states, a method for managing asset or obligation-backed virtual receipts on a distributed system may include 1. Receiving confirmation of a deposit of an underlying asset wherein the deposit encumbers the underlying asset. 2. Receiving authorization to issue a virtual receipt for the deposited underlying asset. And 3. Executing issuance of the virtual currency receipt by writing the transaction to a distributed ledger. They are knee-deep in this stuff. I'm sorry, neck-deep in this. In the patent, JP Morgan mentions that a use case for the distributed ledger, notice they won't say blockchain. Whenever you got banks involved, they don't use the word blockchain because blockchain to the average person means Bitcoin. They'll use the term distributed ledger technology. It's the same freaking thing. It's like Obamacare and the ACA, Affordable Care Act. It's the same thing. Obama will never call it Obamacare, and Republicans will never call it the Affordable Care Act. They always call it Obamacare. Virtual depository receipts or virtual receipts. So it's basically about receipts. It's the ability to record the transactions is what they are filing this patent for. Despite a persisting cryptocurrency bear market, institutional investor interest has risen to an all-time high. So why is it that, the professionals aren't sweating the Bitcoin price? Notice, you don't see me reporting daily about Bitcoin price went down, Bitcoin price went up. That's irrelevant. I don't report on that stuff. I'm not looking for short term here. My interest is the technology and where this thing is going to be 5, 10, 20 years from now and how to take advantage of it. The price of Bitcoin today is irrelevant. All right, so let's see here. On June 20th, Goldman Sachs COO David Solomon told Bloomberg that the firm must evolve its business and adapt to the environment. You see that word right there? That's an important sentence. They must evolve and adapt. If the bankers have recognized this, don't you think you as an individual need to do the same thing? Evolve and adapt. This is why I say that crypto education is more important than you trying to make money tomorrow off of crypto. If you want to not only survive but thrive the rest of this century, you have to be fluent. It's like learning a new language. You have to be fluent in this language called cryptocurrency. That's why the best investment you can make is $300 in getting cryptogenics education. Let's look at another bank here. Wells Fargo and Barclays. I did read an article just on Barclays the other day. But here you got another United States bank, Wells Fargo. So I already know about JP Morgan, the largest bank. We know Bank of America has already filed 70 blockchain patents. That's the second largest bank. And now we've got Wells Fargo. They acquire token and KYC blockchain patents. So they're doing the same thing JP Morgan's doing. Two of the world's largest banks recently acquired 3 distinct patents in the field of blockchain technology. Wells Fargo, aptly titled Data Element Tokenization Management, was filed on July 17, 2018, and looks to tokenize pretty much every possible data piece possible. You see that? Barclays later filed 2 patents on July 19th. The first looks to streamline cryptocurrency transfers between clients, while the latter hopes to beef up current KYC standards at the British firm. Here's what I'm guaranteeing you that Bitcoin price manipulation, crypto market manipulation is taking place. The futures, they are purposely keeping the market price down. They are waiting for, in the background, their buddies in the banks are building the infrastructure. The infrastructure is being built right now. And when complete, that's when you're going to start to see all of a sudden the Bitcoin price and the crypto market explode. Because the foundation is in place to handle the growth. Rather than wild run-ups just by people excited by it, it's going to be a controlled run-up. You just connect the dots. All the big banks, all of them, Barclays, JP Morgan, Bank of America, now Wells Fargo, all are getting prepared and ready for this. So, they say, in the first, they're not afraid of Bank of America. Wait, let me back up. It is not entirely clear after examining the patent applied by Wells Fargo. The following analysis will provide an excellent case in point for why most firms probably don't need a blockchain. In fact, as far as what the American bank is hoping for, there are only 2 reasonable conclusions that can be drawn. In the first, they're afraid that Bank of America might be outpacing them in the blockchain patent tally and quickly want to hop on the next wave of remarkable internet inventions. What that proves is what I say all the time. If one business starts to integrate new technology, their competitors, if they want to remain competitive, they're going to be forced to also adapt new technology or they're going to be left behind. Nobody wants to become Blockbuster again when Netflix came on the scene. So Wells Fargo may be doing this only because they want to keep pace with Bank of America. They may not even believe in all of this, but smart business means, hey, if our competitors are taking advantage of some new technology, I think we might do the same thing. The second thing is, of which attracts a different critic. The firm doesn't wholly understand the limits or advantages of legacy data servers and the efficiency havoc that a blockchain would render to their current status. So in other words, they don't fully understand it, but they don't want to be left behind. It says tokenization is a process in which a token is substituted as a proxy for data, thereby obscuring the underlying data. So they're basically doing the same thing that JP Morgan, Barclays is doing. And they're behind. As far as Wells Fargo. They're behind on this. Alright, let's see. Is there another article? Oh, I forgot about this one. Why did I do this now? I should have saved this for tonight, but I did type it in, so I'll do it. Women and the future of cryptocurrency. Where are the women at? Where are the ladies? Women, as I have said many times, can dominate this space. If I was a woman, knowing what I know, $1 million in 6 months. $1 million in 6 months without it even trying that hard. Alright, let's talk about the women. Women and the future of cryptocurrency, a case study in everyday digital asset payments. That's an interesting take on it. Recently, significant attention has been given to the limited number of women involved in the crypto space. So if you are a woman and you're involved in crypto right now, congratulations. Tap yourself on the back. You are the elite of the elite. I mean, even more than that. You are a very, very rare in this space. Says, this limited number applies not only to investors and coin holders, but also to innovators and developers in the area. As women comprise about half of the population, their shortage in the crypto sphere hints at what could be a significant factor in crypto's holding pattern. The impetus behind Bitcoin was to create a peer-to-peer method of exchanging value to allow people to operate freely outside of existing financial and governmental systems, according to blockchain and Bitcoin expert Andreas Antonopoulos. The success of cryptocurrency is not indicated by its price, but instead by how widely it's used. I agree with that. From this perspective comes the question of why cryptocurrency isn't being used in more spaces by more people. Mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency would mean local, daily purchases could be transacted in crypto. A look at who does the bulk of consumer spending provides insight into how crypto could make its way more quickly into the mainstream. According to Sivaji, who is currently Chief Marketing Officer at XO Group, whether women are working or even if they are at home, we see that women drive 70 to 80% of all consumer purchases. This has a lot to do with the multiplier effect. Even if women are not making the transaction, they are still impacting the decisions because they are the primary caregiver of children and the elderly. For crypto to find a prominent place in retail, there must be a demand. That is, consumers have to indicate to retailers that they want to be able to pay with cryptocurrency. With women behind up to 80% of purchases, even if they are not making every single transaction, they make a significant portion of them. If those transactions are to be shifted to include crypto options, women need to be informed about the utility of crypto and the basics of getting started with crypto, i.e. choosing a wallet, etc. Getting women on board with cryptocurrency will likely boost sales in crypto for retailers already offering the payment option, many of which are online retailers. Women are ahead of the online shopping curve when compared with men. That's true. It's not even close. All right. E-commerce. How many of you women are out there always buying stuff off of Amazon and eBay, and you always got packages coming to your house? In March 2018, CNBC reported on a First Insight study that revealed that while only 22% of men reported frequently using a phone to shop, 40% of women said the frequent use of a phone for shopping. Interestingly, Forbes identified the rise in retailers using cryptocurrency as an influential factor in retail in 2018 and speculated that 2018 could be the year that people start to make local decisions based less on an actual product and more on the payment options available. Understanding what women look for when making transactions and what existing payment options don't offer that crypto are vital components to increase the use of crypto among women. The importance of making sure women are informed about crypto and comfortable using it is thus crucial to a quicker crypto takeoff in the mainstream. I just gave myself an idea. Oh, I'm not finished yet. Let me finish this. Light bulb's always going off in my head, and I gotta remember it. So I'm gonna save this till the end. But let me finish this. While undoubtedly multiple factors have contributed to the limited number of women involved in cryptocurrency, lack of engagement is a critical component to address to see a change in participation. Involvement of women at several levels is essential to capturing the female market, according to Sivaji, who discussed the importance of having women front and center of your content and product development, rather than focusing solely on marketing or advertising. To this end, The small number of women involved in the development of blockchain technology and crypto-related applications means a slower road to the type of widespread adoption that will allow crypto to take off. However, several women have already made a name for themselves in the crypto space, like Tina Huey, Elvina Kamalova, Carol Fowler, and many others like Kathy Keene, Calais Taylor, India de Jesus, crypto millionaires, women. Look who's the top woman in cryptogenics, Christy Snoddy. So it's not like the women aren't out there. I know a handful of them that is killing it right now. And then you've got the future upcoming ones that can dominate, like Lashana, Bethany. I mean, Emma. Oh no, Emma's not a guy. Emma's a guy. My bad, Emma. Emma's dominating in Nigeria. I got another idea that just popped in my head. Let me save it to the end. It says successful women in crypto are essential to another point that Sivaji touched on. 90% of our female audience makes a point to pass along deals and information to other women. Women love to talk. Women love to gossip and talk and share stuff with each other. Regarding crypto, this statistic indicates a potential for a snowball effect. As more women develop the interest in and use crypto, the more women they will inform. It also shows potential value in offering incentives for crypto spending. According to the First Insight study, women commonly look for deals and compare prices before purchasing. If there is a better price through the use of crypto or related transaction, more women will gravitate toward using it. Target market. If the crypto sphere is paying attention, it won't be surprising to see more effort being made to include women at all levels. At the same time, women, as they comprise such a valuable part of the market, need to be wary of ICOs that may seek to take advantage. That's why education is important. For instance, Pink Taxi describes itself as a woman-only taxi service utilizing crypto and blockchain technology. Despite claims that Pink Taxi aims to empower women both economically and socially by providing a convenient and safe mode of transportation that benefits both its drivers and passengers, several discrepancies have been identified that necessitate caution. The Pink Taxi website was reported for plagiarism of a different taxi service and misuse of media from other sources. Telegram messages promised investors they'd get rich. Another warning sign to heed. While it's likely that many legitimate crypto ventures for women are in the works, it will be important that proper education in the crypto sphere is accessible sooner rather than later. The challenge of mass crypto adoption could be impacted drastically by the involvement of women on all levels, whether it's as developers, innovators, investors, or as crypto users. It will be interesting to see what efforts are made to include the female half of the population in the exciting space of blockchain and cryptocurrency, and the effect that increased female involvement will have on the future of these technologies. It is huge. When I was all up in e-commerce, when I was part of Sherlock, I used to read articles like this, but not on Facebook Live. I used to just record myself reading them and put them up on YouTube, and they're all still there. And I remember one I did maybe 4 years ago. I said that the women will dominate e-commerce when they figure it out. Once they figure out that they can do more than just spend the money, but they can position themselves to become freaking filthy rich off of e-commerce. eBay, Amazon, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I got an idea. It's similar to, I had an idea last, October, where I said, where are the women at? Where are the Bitcoin divas at? Well, this is what I'm going to do. It's hot today, and I'm going swimming later. I'm going to do another Facebook Live from my swimming pool. And the topic is going to be for women. And here's what I'm going to show you. How, as a woman, what you can do right now to position yourself to be earning a full-time income, $100,000 a year and more, off of cryptocurrency. the very first steps to getting started to be on that path, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. That if I was a woman, this is exactly what I would do, and I know exactly how much money I would make. So if you're a woman out there, would you like to have that type of information, that type of knowledge? It's like I should put on a Saturday event just on that. Charge $500. But I'm going to do this for free. I'm going to tell you exactly, as a woman, what to do. That by the end of this year, see, this is something I can almost guarantee. By the end of this year, going into 2019, you will be positioned to be able to earn more than 6 figures a year, $100,000 a year. See, most women that are stay-at-home moms, or women that are women entrepreneurs, I got that plan for you. No woman said anything yet. I guess you don't want to know that info. But I'm going to do it anyway. This afternoon, I'm going to be wading in the water, chilling out. And I'm going to turn on the camera. Yeah, I'll turn on the camera too. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do as a woman. You don't need men at all. In fact, I'll show you how to have an entire campaign geared just for women. Because if I was a woman, this is exactly what I would do. And I'm going to give some details. I'm not going to be just bland and generic. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Now, I'm not an economic financial advisor. So you still have to make your own decision. And even if I tell you, you still got to take action. You still have to do it. But I'm going to give you a blueprint, a game plan as a woman. And I'm going to give you some options. Options that some of you will do, most of you will not. I already know this. I already know how women think. Most will not do it. A small few of you will. But even if you don't do some of these options, you will still be positioned. So I cannot tell you what time this is going to be. I mean, like I said, I'm going swimming later. It's just whenever I feel like it. I just woke up, and first thing I did was did this Facebook Live. So I got to get prepared. And I got to work. I haven't worked in a couple of days. I got to get some things done. Then I'm going swimming in. So it'll be sometime this afternoon. Maybe 12, 1, 2, somewhere around there. Just keep an eye on my Facebook. And if you miss it live, it's going to be on my Facebook. All right. I hope you guys learned something this morning. As always, that is the point. And I will see you all in a couple of hours. Bitcoin Brandon out. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.
Crypto Gen X.